Hello, everybody out there. Welcome. It is Monday. It is 6 p.m. That means it's time for AEW Weekly. So, welcome to the show. I am one of your hosts, Asa, and with me, as always, is my permanent co host, Kay Fabulous, right here.
Hey.
And we're going to guide you through the week that was in AEW. And things got a little weird near the end of the week, and we're going to talk about that, of course, as we go. And I think we're going to end up doing a special edition this week, but we're going to talk about that as we go too. But let's get right to things with the recap of the shows. So do a recap of the shows, and then we'll do get to the segments where we discuss things a little more in depth. So I'll try and do the recaps pretty quickly here. And if you're new to the show, I give ratings on the matches. I give them bones rather than stars. I give bones, and I give them out of 5. So 5 bones is like the best match I've ever seen. That's how we do it here. AEW Dynamite, April 3rd, Worcester, Massachusetts. TNT champion Adam Copeland comes out. He answers back at CM Punk's bullshit from earlier in the week. That's basically what I thought of that interview with Ariel guy. I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. That's all I'm going to say about it right now. And Adam Copeland calls out. He had a really impassioned promo. It was very good. It was what the moment called for, I thought.
There are some quotes in the news from the segment.
Oh, okay.
Just to let you know. So you will hear some quotes from it later.
We'll talk about it in the news later. But yeah, Adam Copeland delivered it very well. And as I said, it was very impassioned and just it felt right. And yeah, he did it and answered back at sort of this venom that had been put out in the press against AEW and against its owner, and he answered back against all that, and
but in like a really positive way.
Yeah, right, with no negativity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was great. He did a really phenomenal job.
Yeah. And no calling anybody like a jerk or a piece of shit or anything like I might do on the show tonight. He was very positive. But yeah, it was great. And after he's done, he calls out Will Ospreay because he has a match. It's the Battle of the Wills. Will Ospreay versus Powerhouse Will Hobbs. Both are in the Callis family, of course. And Don Callis is on commentary. Will Ospreay wins after a spinning top rope move. I'm not sure the name of it. It's one where he spins like several times, like 3 times, like a tornado type spinning move. And he landed though with his thigh right on Hobbs's head. It was scary at first, but Hobbs seemed fine. Good match. 4 bones out of 5. Ospreay wasn't able to do his usual array of moves on Hobbs, but he figured some things out, and it was a good match. And Hobbs, he looked good. Ospreay has a way of always making his opponents look their best, I think. And this was one of the best Hobbs performances I think I've seen, if not the best. So even in a losing effort. So good job for Hobbs there. As I said, 4 bones out of 5 I gave it. After the match, Bryan Danielson is entering for his match, and Ospreay is leaving on the ramp there. They pass each other. Ospreay tells Danielson, "Top that," while Bryan Danielson is giving him sort of a mock applause. A pretty good moment.
I don't think it was mock applause. It was like a my hat's off to you applause.
Really?
There was like a nod involved.
I think it wasn't a mock applause. Yeah. I think you're right.
He was not like,
Yeah, I think you're right. But Yeah, just a little moment there between two of the best in the world. Maybe a lot of people would say the two best in the world. I don't know. But certainly two of the best in the world. And of course, they're facing at Dynasty on the 21st. And the next match is Bryan Danielson versus Lance Archer. And once again, no Jake the Snake Roberts. So I don't know if something is up with Jake. I don't know if something's going on, if he's still employed by AEW. But I don't know. In storyline, he's still with Lance Archer. So why isn't he showing up with Lance Archer? I don't know what's going on. I would love to know why not. Or really, I don't care. May not be my business. Why not? I would just love to see him. Is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see the guy. I love Jake the Snake. So no Jake the Snake. Anyway, Bryan Danielson gets the win over Archer. He hit the Blue Psycho knee for the pin and the win. A decent match. Archer slowed down the pace to a crawl. Very slow match at one point. Very slow. And Danielson picked it back up, though. Give it 3.5 bones out of 5. Up next, Renee welcomes out Chris Jericho. Did you have something you were going to say, Kay?
I was just going to say, that might be the lowest rating that Danielson has ever gotten.
It probably is the lowest rating I've ever given a Bryan Danielson match. Yeah, 3.5 bones out of 5. I bet it is. Up next, Renee welcomes out Chris Jericho. Jericho asks Hook to believe in him the way he believes in Hook. Hook agrees, says he got them a tag team match on Collision, but he'll be watching Jericho. And Jericho says he would expect nothing else. And Jericho was getting booed during this segment. Definitely booed by the crowd. Wyatt.
Ripley doesn't like that Jericho got booed.
Yeah, I guess not. Standing up for Chris Jericho. So next we see Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. And they say they'll be the opponents for Lion Hook on Collision. So we'll see. Up next, we got Switchblade Jay White taking on Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. On the big screen, the Acclaimed, during the match here, we see on the big screen, the Acclaimed have been laid out. They're seemingly unconscious on the locker room floor. Billy Gunn, though, does not go to see what's up, to rescue them, whatever you might call it. He elects to keep wrestling. And so he hits 2 Fame-Assers. It looks like it's over. He then goes to grab a steel chair. In the ring, though, his sons, of course, members of Bullet Club Gold, they are protecting. They're protecting White. Gunn moves Austin out of the way, and then White hits Billy Gunn in the balls. Billy Gunn wins by disqualification. This was a squash match, really. I don't rate those. There's nothing to it. But Billy Gunn wins the match. So we've got a bit of trouble brewing in the Bang Bang Scissor Gang camp. And we're going to discuss that later.
But there's not a camp anymore.
Well, yeah. But nonetheless, we're going to discuss that later in just a bit. We see the Young Bucks are shown arriving earlier in the day. And then the Best Friends are shown arriving together. And they have matching jumpsuits as though they're a superhero team. Or flight suits, as though they're astronauts. You might call them flight suits.
They're track suits.
They're track suits. Better word for them. Yeah, they're track suits. Yeah. Next, Renee.
You're not going to say who was with them?
Oh, Sue was with them.
Sue was with them, also in a matching tracksuit.
Yeah. She's a member of the Best Friends. Yeah. Who was it? It was Trent Beretta, Chuck, Sue, and Rocky Romero, was it?
No, and Orange Cassidy, because he's the other
And
person
Orange
on the
Cassidy?
team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Renee brings out Willow Nightingale, the number one contender for the TBS title. Willow says she thinks she'll beat Julia Hart for the belt. And then Mercedes Moné comes out and says she wants to face the winner of the Dynasty TBS title match at Double or Nothing. So we have a match seemingly scheduled for Mercedes Moné now. At Double or Nothing, she will face, which is a little ways away, still over a month away. She'll face the winner of the TBS title match at Dynasty.
Did you get the impression that she's not going to wrestle prior to that?
I did get that impression.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
But I hope she does.
Yeah.
She seems like she would need a couple warm-up matches, so maybe she will wrestle a couple times. You don't want to go cold into a pay-per-view, I don't think.
Yeah.
Just my thought. Up next, we have one of the AEW World Tag Team Title Tournament semifinal matches. We have the Young Bucks versus the Best Friends, and that's the team of Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. They are accompanied by Chuck Taylor and Sue. Matthew Jackson sends Trent Beretta into the corner with no turnbuckle pad. Kind of, sends Trent reeling, and Matthew then pins him. The Young Bucks advance to Dynasty. The Young Bucks are in the tag team tournament final. After the match, Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta, and Chuck are all in separate corners. They go to do the Best Friends hug thing, and Trent Beretta drops Orange Cassidy with a flying knee drop. Shockingly, turning on Orange Cassidy and ending his time with the Best Friends.
In front of his mom.
Yeah, in front of his own mother. And turning heel. And we're going to talk about that in just a bit as well. This was a good match between the Bucks and the Best Friends. 4 bones out of 5. Up next, the women's world title number 1 contendership match between Thunder Rosa and Mariah May. Thunder Rosa beat Mariah May after a Tijuana bomb. Toni Storm sits stunned at the announcer's table after the match. And this match I was really looking forward to. I thought it was going to be a barn burner, as they say. I thought it was going to be quite a match. But the two never really connected in a meaningful way. The match it didn't really tell much of a story.
Mm-hmm.
It was just sequence of moves after sequence of moves. I mean, they looked good. The ladies, they executed the moves just fine, but the match was just missing, as I said, a story. It was just missing a certain feeling of meaningfulness to it. So I gave it 3.5 bones out of 5.
I've read several people in the IWC say that Thunder Rosa is not the same wrestler since she's been back as she was before she left. What are your thoughts on that?
I would agree with that, but I would also say it's harder to tell because she's had so many squash matches and things.
Mm-hmm.
She's had so few matches that really matter for anything that we haven't seen her go all out because she hasn't needed to go all out for anything.
Well, I feel like this was the match that was like that first opportunity.
Yeah.
And it just kind of fell flat.
Yeah. So I guess I would agree with that, yeah. Where it seems like something's holding her back, and whether it's fear of injury, whether it's a lingering injury. I mean, a lot of people say once you hurt your back, you can't ever go back. And I tell you, years ago, I hurt my back. I've had surgery. It still hurts today as I'm sitting here. So I don't know. I can attest to that. So I don't know. Maybe she's just a little hesitant to not re-injure her back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be my guess, personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think she's not taking the same risks. She doesn't move with the same speed. Mm-hmm. She's still very good, mm-hmm. but just not as good. Yeah. The main event of Dynamite was a contract signing. I don't like it when shows end with angles, personally. I like a match as a main event. But oh well. So we had AEW World Champion Samoa Joe and #1 contender Swerve Strickland had their contract signing. It ended up with Samoa Joe wrapping Swerve's chain around his fist, blooding Swerve's forehead, and walking away. Swerve gets on the microphone. He says, Joe, you think this is going to, dissuade me from going after you? He said, I love this shit. And the audience loves it. And he then takes the pen and puts it on his bloody forehead and signs the contract and smears his blood all over the contract. So signs it in his own blood. And Joe comes back to the ring, gets Swerve, and Uranagis him through a table, which is a move very similar to a rock bottom, and stands with his boot on Swerve's chest, holding up the AEW World Title belt, triumphant, and that is how the show goes off the air. So pretty good Dynamite, all in all, I would say.
Did you already say your match of the night?
Oh, I did not say my match of the night. So match of the night for this Dynamite. I would probably have to go with Will Ospreay versus Will Hobbs. Yeah. I would have to go with that.
That would have been my pick also.
Yeah. Just Will Ospreay is on a streak of just putting on a show, putting on incredible shows for fans here in the States, It's guy is just amazing. He's amazing. Seeing him on a regular basis, maybe you thought maybe it would diminish him. Maybe he seemed more special because personally, I only saw him every 6 months or whatever, for every 4 months or so, and maybe I thought he seemed special because I only saw him so rarely. But no, that's not the case. This guy is amazing. He's something else. All right, so now AEW Collision, April 6th, again in Worcester, Massachusetts. We start off with the World Tag Team Title Tournament semifinal, FTR versus Top Flight. We were going for Top Flight. Wanted to see something different. FTR hit the Shatter Machine on Dante Martin and get the win. Gave this match 4 bones out of 5. Good match. FTR.
This match was awesome.
Huh?
It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually bump it up. Actually, I'm gonna bump it up to 4.5 bones out of 5.
It deserves it.
Yeah, it was a very good match.
It's the best match we've seen Top Flight in. Like, they were operating as like a well-oiled machine, I think, for really the first time. Probably because both brothers spent so much time tagging with other people while the other one was injured, But yeah, it was awesome to get to see them. I was really pulling for them, and I'm super bummed that they lost.
Yeah, Top Flight put on a great performance in losing, even, as did FTR. But Top Flight, just their offense is so unique, and the way that they tag together and use their use the tag team abilities, use the things that you can only see in tag team matches, the double teams and the, uh, running around your opponents or whatever, the time you spend in the ring after you've tagged, those types of things you can only see in a tag team match. The way they use that sort of stuff is very unique, and they're very good at using it. And I was really watching how they did that. I was paying a close eye to it, and was very impressed. And they were just fantastic, and they were flying all over the place as well, and just being, with a few exceptions, they were really landing all their moves as well. So yeah, great showing by Top Flight. I hate that they lost. I wanted to see the Young Bucks and Top Flight. Young Bucks and FTR are still great. It's going to be great, even though everybody's like, oh, we've seen it.
We have.
It's still a good matchup. It's still going to be a great match.
It is, but they could have taken this opportunity to let another tag team shine.
Yeah,
and they chose not to.
And I think they maybe should have.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, good match. 4.5 bones out of 5. Up next, we got an Okada promo written by the Young Bucks. It was very enjoyable. Just very grandiose promo. A little short, hype video. Next up, we got Pac versus a young man named Encore Moore.
I like his chances.
And Pac tore through him, won via submission. And after the match, Pac got on the microphone. He challenges the Continental Champion Okada and says he eagerly awaits his response. So that'd be cool. Cool matchup, Pac versus Okada. We're going to talk about that in a bit also. After that match, Renee is with Bryan Danielson, who they do this very casual kind of interview where he discusses facing Will Ospreay at Dynasty, and it came off very well. It was very good, very well done. And they do it later in the show with Will Ospreay as well. In this casual style interview, not a stand-up interview in the back, but I think they're sitting on something.
I know Will Ospreay. I can't remember Danielson. Will Ospreay was sitting on like one of the equipment boxes.
Yeah, I think Danielson was sitting on something.
But it's just their positioning was different than normal, and I feel like the camera they used was different than their normal backstage camera interviews. Like the quality of the film looked more
the lighting
cinematic.
Was different.
Yeah,
the lighting was different
lighting,
for sure.
Yeah.
So
it was much better.
Yeah, very good, very well done.
Yeah.
Up next, Lion Hook take on Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. Jericho gets Moriarty to tap out to the walls of Jericho. This was a good match. Gave it 3.5 bones out of 5. Nothing great. Shane Taylor, I don't understand why he continues to be featured. We just had this round of firings in AEW, and he's still there. And I don't understand why he continues to be featured. I don't see the appeal. I don't get it. So, nonetheless, they're there. He's there, rather. After the match, Anthony Ogogo, where the fuck has he been? He runs in and knocks out Jericho. Shane Taylor puts a Shane Taylor Promotions flag that I think he paid over $5 for. Puts this flag, he drapes it over Jericho's body.
That's not the first time we've seen that flag, right?
Oh, isn't it?
No.
Oh, I didn't remember.
He often comes out with it.
I didn't remember saying
it.
Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, and I guess Anthony Ogogo is part of Shane Taylor Promotions now.
Yeah, they all together laid the flag down, which I think was supposed to be the symbol to us that Anthony Ogogo has joined them.
I don't know if it's just saying his name, but I like Anthony Ogogo.
It's just saying his name.
Yeah,
I really like him, and I've
so.
never seen him do anything before.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun name to say.
It really is. But
much better than, what was it, Encore More?
Encore More.
Terrible name.
Up next, but yeah, I haven't seen Ogogo. I feel like, and I could be wrong, I feel like I haven't seen him in 5 years, 4 or 5 years. So somebody tell me if I'm wrong, but I swear he hasn't been on AEW in 4 or 5 years.
I've never seen him, so that would make sense because I didn't watch at the beginning.
I swear the last time I saw him was in that Cody Rhodes feud 4 or 5 years ago. Up next, Dustin Rhodes cuts a promo challenging Samoa Joe for the AEW World Title out of nowhere. Comes up and says, he cuts a promo about how he may be old, but he's still got it, and there's something he's never done. I guess he got inspired by his brother's, finishing the storyline happening in a different company. I guess he got inspired by that and wanted to finish a story of his own. He's never been a world champion, Dustin. Closest he ever came was in WCW in the early 90s. He was very popular for a while in WCW back then. He became United States champion a couple times, but never world champion. Got a couple shots at the world title too, I believe, but never won it.
I hate to break it to you, but he is never going to win it.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that later.
Okay, good.
We're going to talk about that later.
I have thoughts.
Up next, Renee is with Will Ospreay. And it's good hype for the Ospreay Danielson match. This is that casual interview that we were talking about. And then we had the House of Black up against Christopher Daniels, Matt Sydal, and Brian Keith. And you can probably guess what happened here. House of Black won a squash match. After that, Adam Copeland's music plays, and Adam Copeland attacks the House of Black from behind. Just he alone attacks the House of Black. And so then, as you would imagine, they kick his ass. But then Mark Briscoe, the Ring of Honor World Champion, comes out, rather. And then FTR comes down to help out Adam Copeland and Mark Briscoe. And then the Young Bucks arrive. So we've got a Pier 6 brawl going, as they say. You got the House of Black and the Young Bucks on one side, and Adam Copeland, Mark Briscoe, and FTR on the other side. It was very entertaining. It was one of the high spots of Collision. It was maybe the high spot of Collision.
There weren't, in all fairness, there weren't a lot of high spots on this Collision.
Yeah, it was a very
disappointing,
meh episode of Collision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That FTR top flight match was really good, but
that was probably the best match.
Yeah.
I see. We'll get to the end. That's probably the best match. Oh no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. The main event was really good.
Yeah.
The main event was really good. Yeah. Up next, Rocky Romero comes out and he says, I guess everybody's just calling for title matches. He comes out and says he wants an eliminator match against Roderick Strong for the international title.
Oh, it's an eliminator match?
That's what Rocky Romero says, yeah.
Oh.
Next, we have Lion Hook backstage with Lexi, because Chris Jericho and Hook apparently can never speak to each other unless a camera is on them.
It's in their contracts.
They're backstage with Lexi. Hook says he's found them a third man. I didn't know they were searching for one, but he's found them one.
Well, they just got beat up by 3 guys.
So I guess, are they going to be a trios in the trios division now?
Well, they're facing, on Dynamite, they're facing Shane Taylor Promotions and
I guess they're going to be in the trios division now.
Yeah. At least for this one match.
Oh, okay. So it's not Lion Hook and this other guy. Anyways, the third guy is Katsuyori Shibata, who speaks to them with the aid of a smartphone translation app, and he uses a white woman's voice for some reason to communicate with them. It was very odd.
He's done that before.
It's still very odd.
I think it's because like there's I don't know if it's from TikTok or Instagram Reels, but like there's like a woman narrator voice that like narrates a bunch of people's videos, and it's like really robotic and broken up sounding, and it kind of sounded like that. So I thought maybe that was why.
Let's see. Up next, we had a surprise matchup. Trish Adora versus the returning Yuka Sakazaki. She is in the AEW video game, and when it shipped, a lot of people were like, okay, I got my game. Who the fuck is this? Because she hadn't been around for a while. But the Magic Girl, Yuka Sakazaki, returns. And this match, very good. Good display of both women's talents. And good back and forth. Sakazaki got the win with a splash off the ropes, and she won the match 4 bones out of 5. After the match, Serena Deeb comes down and claps for Sakazaki. So it seems like we may be seeing Deeb versus Sakazaki soon.
I just want to note that Trish Adora got an entrance, and it made me so happy. Because she deserves to have an entrance, and so far, I think on every AEW match she's had, she's just already been in the ring. So that was really nice.
I feel like she's had an entrance before.
Not often.
Not often, but she's had it. Yeah, she's very good. Next, Matt Menard and Daniel Garcia have a promo, and basically they just talk about how talented the AEW roster is and how motivated they are by the amount of talent in it. Next, we have Claudio Castagnoli versus The Butcher. And Claudio hit the big swing for the pin and the win. This was a squash match. This is another squash match. I don't know how many we had on this episode. It was like 4 or 5, wasn't it?
I think it was 4, yeah.
It was like 4 or 5.
We had Pac, Jericho and Hook, House of Black, Claudio.
Okay.
It's 4.
Next, TBS champion Julia Hart and Sky Blue had a promo, and it's just Hart discussing how she feels about Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné, her 2 top challengers at the moment. After that, AEW World Champion Samoa Joe answers Dustin Rhodes' challenge and says he'll give Rhodes an eliminator match on Dynamite this coming Wednesday, so 2 days from today.
I think it's worth noting that no one has ever won an eliminator match on AEW.
Yeah, it is worth noting.
Yeah. Because we have several coming up.
Yeah. And up next, we had the main event. Penta El Zero Miedo versus Commander. Excellent match. Penta hit a package pile driver for the pin and the win, but these guys were doing anything and everything to try and win this match. Commander, excellent at walking the ropes and coming up with moves off of that. Walking the ropes and going to the outside, walking the ropes and going back inside, walking the ropes and jumping to the ropes on this other side. I mean, the guy is amazing, Commander, what he can do with the ropes and standing on them. I've never seen anyone like him with the way he uses the ropes as a way to get around the ring. Never.
As a mode of transportation.
Yeah. And Penta was excellent as well. But Penta, just put him away. Got the pin and the win. Good match. 4.5 bones out of 5. That was the match of the night. And I'm going to give match of the week. What did I give match of the night on Dynamite?
Ospreay and Hobbs.
I'm going to give Penta and Commander the match of the week, the AEW match of the week. If you know me, you know I like Lucha Libre. If you've been watching the show, I love Lucha Libre. That's my shit. So yeah, this match of the week for me, Penta with the win over Commander. The match didn't mean very much, but whatever. It was very good. So after the match, TNT champion Adam Copeland comes out onto the ramp and stares down Penta because he is defending his title against Penta Wednesday on Dynamite. So we're gonna go without a couple of our usual segments tonight. Thank you. Because I wanted to do some more of where's this going than we usually do. So that's our next segment. And Derek's Wrestling Toys and Tees. Hello. Hey, how are you doing, bud?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And where's this going is our segment where we take some things that happened on AEW television this week and we take a look at them and we ask, where's this going? So first, Adam Copeland telling CM Punk what time it is.
What time is it? Shut the fuck up time?
Where's this going? What did you make of this?
I liked it. Because it was very much a sit down and shut up speech, but not presented like that at all. It was very positive, which just made CM Punk look worse, I think, you know?
Yep.
Because, like, here's a guy who's worked for both companies. He gets along with everyone. He loves wrestling. He can recognize that, like, this is good for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it just came across as Adam Copeland being everything that CM Punk isn't, you know, as far as a person goes. You know, because I am a CM Punk fan. He used to be my favorite wrestler. He has fallen from grace based on his out-of-ring actions. But, like, we have a giant poster of him at the top of our stairs. He's, like, what made me fall in love with wrestling, so I think I'm just always going to have some place in my heart for CM Punk. But he's such a jackass. It's really hard to be a fan of his. He makes it difficult. Yeah, I think that Adam Copeland went the exact right way in handling this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But where is it going? I don't think it's going anywhere. Well, I mean, we kind of know where, like, this backlash at what CM Punk said is still continuing, but not, I don't think, from an Adam Copeland angle.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I felt the same way about it. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it because everybody has been talking about it on the internet. So you've read a ton of opinions already. I don't need to go into, you know, a lot. But I loved it. It was very popular. It was very positive. And, you know, it's kind of like, look, dude, everybody here loves it. Why couldn't you? Maybe you're the fucking problem.
Yeah.
Everyone else thinks it's good for wrestling. Why don't you? Maybe you're the fucking problem. But without saying those things, you know? So it was cool. It was a great speech. It was very nice. I mean, of him to defend the promotion, to defend Tony Khan. It was great of him to do. It was nice that someone stood up and that someone with the pedigree of Adam Copeland, you know, being like a WWE lifer. I mean, I was shocked when he came to AEW. You know, I thought I thought he'd end his career in WWE.
Yeah.
But someone I thought it was a WWE lifer, but now he's on AEW and talking about how good it is and what it means for wrestling. So, yeah, job well done.
Can I say one more thing about the CM Punk thing? Because I realized the quote is not in our news segment on it.
Yeah.
But anyone who works in an industry and says that guaranteed money is the worst thing to happen to the workers in that industry has to have their heads so far up their own ass. Like, it just goes against what he has represented himself as for so long.
Yeah.
It's really upsetting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's my thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so what's going on? What's going to happen with Lionhook? World Tag Team titles? They're going to go all the way to there, or are they going to dissolve before they ever get there, or what? What's going to happen with this team?
I don't understand why this team exists, so that's a really hard question to answer. Like, I don't really understand what it does for either of those wrestlers.
I've been getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, but I mean, Hook already had a lot of attention. Jericho already has a lot of attention. I think the attention they're getting is more, why are these two together, than, oh, it's so awesome these two are together. Jericho's still getting booed for some reason, which I attribute to Lionheart Jericho being part of this team instead of Judas Jericho. Because the audience likes to sing his song. You can't take that away from them and expect him to still get cheered. But as far as where it's going, it seems as random to me as the Big Bill Ricky Starks pairing, which makes me think it's going somewhere, but somewhere that I would have like zero expectation of it ever going. Because like they totally shocked me with the Big Bill Ricky Starks title run.
Mm-hmm.
Like never in a million freaking years did I think that would happen, which I think was with good reason. But it feels like they can't figure out what to do with Jericho.
Yeah.
Like they had a plan with Kenny, but then when Kenny got sick, they kind of scrambled, and then they got Sammy to come back and do the Sex Gods with him. But then Sammy got suspended. So that's the what I said last week is the only thing I can think of that where this might be going is Sammy comes back and is kind of vying for Jericho's attention,
mm-hmm.
And is jealous that it's getting given to Hook instead.
So you're not going to answer my main question: World Tag Team titles, or no? Never.
Oh,
I answered that. Reach it.
No.
No, never.
I hope not.
Okay.
I hate when non-real tag teams.
They're real tag.
They're not a fucking real tag team.
You gotta get over this shit. She says she wants every tag team to be like Bumblebee 1 and Bumblebee 2.
That is not true.
And shit like that. And like they're not a real tag team unless they wear like matching tights. And,
no.
And do
You're
matching moves.
No, not matching moves and not matching tights. They need to have outfits that go together. And definitely not outfits that match their opponent's outfits, which has happened in AEW several times now and is confusing as fuck to watch because you got 4 guys in the ring. 3 of them are dressed alike. It gets confusing. But they need to have tag team moves. When you get singles wrestlers and you force them into a tag team, they don't have a tag team finisher. They don't have a shatter machine or a doomsday device or whatever it's called. And so I just feel like, plus the plausibility of 2 guys that are randomly put together being able to defeat a team that regularly fights together
mm-hmm.
and have had success prior to facing them, it's a reach to me. So yes, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, all right. So for me, do you want to tell our viewers why you've been rubbing your eyes like a crazy person?
Sorry, yeah. So North Carolina in spring is full of allergens, and they are attacking me in my face.
Yeah. Just thought you might want to explain yourself.
Sorry,
why you've been
I'm rubbing my
acting
eyes
like an insane person.
Itchy. And also I'm allergic to our cats, which just like doesn't super help. But yeah, it's like there's pollen everywhere outside.
Yeah, there's pollen everywhere.
I have taken 3 different kinds of allergy medicine today, and I still am like, so yeah, sorry. I'm not dying. I just have terrible allergies.
So for me, Lion Hook. I don't think they'll win the tag team titles. I think they'll be short of them. It's weird that this team exists for me too. I don't see what it. I mean, I think it will do something for Hook. I just it's just weird that they're together in the first place for me.
What's it gonna do for Hook?
I mean, teaming up with one of the greatest of all time, that's a great partner to have. It's the same thing that teaming with Sting did for Darby Allin. It's gonna, he's always gonna have that with him, And think of the fans that Darby Allin earned while being with Sting.
Yeah. I just feel like people view Jericho very differently than they view Sting.
They do. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I think it makes sense when Jericho wrestled Hook that could help elevate him. But I don't see how putting him in a tag team is going to lift him the same way it lifted Darby.
Derek said lots of allergens in Georgia as well. Yeah. I know the feeling, Kay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm from Florida, and I didn't have this problem until I moved farther north. I'm sure there's pollen in Florida. It just didn't affect me the same way.
Yeah, so Lion Hook, I don't know. It's a weird thing, and they get 2 segments on every show they're on. 2 backstage segments every show they're on, and a match. It's just they take up so much time on the show.
See, and that's what has me concerned for this matchup, because people already think that there's too much Jericho in AEW and that he's getting shoved down their throats constantly, which I don't agree with. But if that's the general feeling, or at least a largish feeling of a lot of AEW fans regarding Jericho, pairing him with Hook, I think is just going to put Hook in the same boat, where they're going to feel like this kid who used to show up every once in a while, so it was awesome and exciting and special when he came, he's now getting paired with someone that people are tired of seeing. And I don't want them to associate that I'm tired of seeing Jericho feeling with Hook.
Yeah, I got you. I hear you. Yeah, you're right. You may be right there. Maybe right there. Yeah, we'll see. It's an interesting case. It's an odd pairing. It's an odd timing for the pairing. It feels weird, and the things that they're doing. It's this week, Jericho's gonna tell Hook he can ask advice. This week he's gonna call Hook out. This week they're gonna have a match against each other,
which wasn't a call out at all. A call out implies confrontation.
Yeah.
And that's not what it was. It was just very weird.
Yeah.
And Renee's there every time as their mediator or translator or something. It's just so odd.
All right, moving along. The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, the Guns and Jay White. Things are not good between these 2 camps.
Yeah.
What are we headed for?
We are headed for a Daddy Ass heel turn, I think.
That's what we were saying last week.
Yeah. That's the only, I think, plausible avenue. So Bullet Club gains another member. Bullet Club Gold, I should say, gains another member. And he's reunited with his sons.
So you think he's going to join Bullet Club Gold? He's not going to just simply turn heel. He's going to turn heel and join with them?
I think he's going to turn heel to be with his sons.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. He's so popular with the Acclaim, though. That's a bold move.
Yeah.
Even just from a merchandise sales point of view.
Yeah.
We see more Acclaimed merchandise than almost anything.
They sell a lot. Well, they're not. They're in the top 10 sellers for sure. Yeah. they're not like they once were, but they're still a hot act. Yeah.
They have some of the best merchandise.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They got some cool looking stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very popular. But nonetheless, yeah, I think Billy Gunn heel turn and joining up with Bullet Club Gold as a fourth member, and then once Juice Robinson gets back, they'll have 5 members. So that'll be a nice little stable they got there.
It's weird though. Like I would be surprised them doing another heel turn so close to the Trent heel turn, because like since before Trent, I think maybe Nick Wayne was the most recent heel turn we had, and then before that was Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and so like that's not a common occurrence really, except for like shifty characters that kind of like flit in and out of heel and face. But as far as like a solid baby face turning heel, it would be surprising to have 2 very close together. So I don't think it's going to happen just yet.
Really?
Yeah, you think it's going to happen like by Dynasty?
Billy Gunn?
Yeah.
Oh, by Dynasty? No.
Yeah.
No. But soon. I do think it's going to happen soon.
I think they're going to have a match at Double or Nothing, and during the match is when.
I don't know if they're going to drag it out that long. I don't think.
They like to drag.
They
stuff
do
out.
drag stuff out. They do drag stuff out.
When is Juice Robinson supposed to come back? I haven't read anything about him.
That I don't know.
I'm like,
that's a good question.
Pretty up on AEW news, and
that's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, Daddy Ass, I think Bullet Club Gold bound. But when, I don't know. By the end of May, for sure, I'll say that. For sure.
Well, that's by Double or Nothing, isn't it? Or,
yeah. But by the end of May, for sure. Up next, this threesome we got going between, well, that's the wrong way to put it. This battle we have going between Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale, and Mercedes Moné for the TBS title. Who's ultimately going to come out on top with the TBS title?
When all is said and done,
it won't be Julia Hart.
Mercedes is getting that title.
Yeah, and
she's getting it from Willow.
You think it's going to go from Willow to Mercedes?
Yes.
I see. I think the same thing. Yeah. Because
I hate that for Willow. Like I hate such a short title run for her, especially with her first AEW title. But I can't see it going any other way.
Yeah.
Like Mercedes isn't going to lose one of her first big match, you know?
Yeah. I think Mercedes, I don't know. I think she'll probably win the belt in her first match.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think she'll lose her first match.
I don't think she's definitely not losing to Julia Hart.
No.
And
no.
I would be surprised if she would willingly lose again to Willow.
She might. She may win by disqualification or something. Perhaps.
Yeah, like maybe Chris Statlander gets involved and
something
causes
like
a DQ for Willow because we've been waiting for a Statlander heel turn for a while.
Something like that, yeah. So, or maybe she wins the match, but not the belt.
Mm-hmm.
May see something like that, I think. So, the Willow doesn't have a super short title reign, but also Mercedes isn't a loser.
Yeah.
I think we may see something like that.
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I'd like Willow to have.
I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
Too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can build it up more.
Yeah.
As well. I think it would be a smart move. But yeah, I agree with you. Willow's definitely winning it from Julia Hart. So it'll definitely be Mercedes versus Willow at Double or Nothing. Yeah. So.
Which good for Willow. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She deserves a push. however brief.
All right. Trent Beretta turns on Orange Cassidy. I don't think he's joining the Elite, but just turning on the Best Friends, right?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, no, I think he's definitely not joining the Elite.
Okay.
What made you even say that?
Well, they were facing the Elite.
Yeah, but the Elite had already left by the time he needed Orange Cassidy in the face.
Yeah, but just wanted to
just to clarify.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a short one. Where's this going?
No, I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
What's going to happen with Sue now? Are we not going to see Sue anymore, or is she going to still be part of the Best Friends and try and implore to the good-natured side of her son that she knows and loves to come back into the light and leave the darkness in his heart behind?
I think she'll still be part of the Best Friends, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think we'll see something like that. Okay. I hope so.
I love Sue.
See something like that. Next, where's this going? Pac versus Okada. Will we see it? Will we get it?
Yeah, why would we not get it?
I don't know. Not all challenges get accepted, you know?
I have never seen a challenge not get accepted.
Yeah?
So I don't know. When has that ever happened in AEW?
In AEW, they usually get accepted, yeah.
They
almost always do.
Always,
They always do in AEW, yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, I think it's getting accepted. And I think Pac is going to lose.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. You think he's going to beat Okada in his first title defense?
No.
Yeah, me either.
Man, but that's tough. Pac coming back and losing.
Well, they're giving him some squash matches and stuff in the meantime.
Yeah, but that sucks. Giving him wins over nobodies.
Well,
and losing to Okada.
Have him lose to Okada.
Get him some wins over people that matter.
Ray Phoenix will be back. Hopefully by May. He's got dates scheduled in May for other companies, so I'm assuming he's going to be back in AEW in May. So get Death Triangle back together and start going after trios. There's plenty you can do with Pac that doesn't that him losing to Okada would not impact negatively, I think.
Does he even want to do that, Pac? Does he want to be a trios, or is he wanting to go on a solo run, you know?
Well, even when he was in a trios, he had the trios belts and still won the international title. He had 2 belts at one time.
Oh, that's right, he did. Yeah, so being part
awesome. If anyone knows that being part of a trio doesn't exclude you from other belts, it would be him, you know? So yeah, I mean, I think
very good point.
Plus, like, if you were part of Death Triangle, why would you ever want to leave that? That's so awesome. It's like the coolest name for a trio ever. Sure. And you're wrestling with Ray Phoenix and Penta. Like, it's so awesome.
True.
And their merchandise is really cool with their little skull triangles.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I don't have any.
I'm sorry.
I need to get some. So yeah, I think we'll see it, and I think it'll be fucking awesome. Pac versus Okada, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Those two styles, man, they both work really fast and really hard. Yeah. They're gonna beat the fuck out of each other.
Yes, they are.
You know? They're gonna wow.
Dynasty is gonna be awesome, you know?
Yes, I do. Dynasty is gonna be a killer show.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be as good as Revolution, but it's gonna be really good. Like right there with it, maybe very close to the quality of Revolution, but with the match card, I think.
And we're getting 2 women's matches,
which
is nice.
And hopefully these will deliver more than the women's match at Revolution. Yeah. Up next, where's this going? We got that Pier 6 brawl at Collision excited me. So on one side, we got Adam Copeland, Mark Briscoe, and FTR on the face side. On the heel side, we got the Young Bucks and the House of Black. So we got 4 on 5 right now. How will this develop? And is this maybe what we're going to see? Blood and Guts? Is this the Blood and Guts teams? When are we
That's still
doing
far
Blood
out,
and Guts?
isn't it?
I don't know. When are we doing it?
Well, I can't remember. You're not wearing your Blood and Guts shirt, so I can't
No,
cheat and
I'm
look at
not
the
wearing
dates
my
on your
Blood and Guts
shirt.
shirt.
I can't remember even what time of year it's. I thought it was like
Neither
summer
can
to
I.
early
I
fall,
think
maybe.
it is summer or
Like
early
late
fall.
summer,
Yeah,
early
it's
fall.
like sometime between like June and August.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. So I hadn't even considered that. But I feel like we already know where it's going because there's 2 matches already at the pay-per-view that have all these people involved in them. Like there's the trios match with Mark Briscoe, Eddie Kingston, and Adam Copeland versus the House of Black.
Yeah.
And then the Young Bucks and FTR for the tag team tournament finals.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that they're all together.
Yeah, so you think this is more about just they're fighting because of the matches for the pay-per-view Dynasty? You don't think it's setting up anything larger?
I mean, now that you mentioned Blood and Guts, it could be. That had not occurred to me. I feel like you have to have the Callis family on Blood and Guts because they have a good number of members that are actually together all the time, not just like temporarily put together. And they're all such solid wrestlers. It seems like it would be a missed opportunity to not include them in Blood and Guts.
Oh yeah.
But I guess you never know. How many people are normally in that? Is it 6-on-6 or
I think it's 5-on-5?
Oh, really?
5-on-5, I believe. Yeah.
Well, then maybe. I mean, it was weird that Eddie Kingston didn't come out.
Yeah, I expected him.
Yeah, I wonder if he
I'm not
was
sure what was up.
Maybe he was like at an indie show or something.
Not sure what was up with that. All right, what's up with this?
Not where's this going, but what's up with this?
What's up with this? Yeah, where's this going?
Yes.
Samoa Joe, world champion, and Swerve Strickland facing each other at Dynasty.
Swerve had better win that fucking
Where's this
belt.
going?
And that is where it's going.
Swerve had
That
better
is where
win
it's
the belt.
going, or like I'm gonna punch the TV.
Don't punch the TV.
I won't punch the TV.
Don't punch the TV.
That's not when you said Samoa Joe. I did not expect you to bring up Swerve as a where is this going? I thought you were going to bring up Dustin Rhodes.
Really? Oh, yeah. I'm going to bring that up in a minute.
Because that's the one that to me is baffling.
So where's this going, though?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think
Swerve's winning the belt?
Yeah, Swerve's winning the belt.
Do you think that Swerve and or Joe is going to get brutalized at the pay-per-view? Like bloody as fuck?
Yes, to both.
Both of them are going to get bloody as fuck? Both men?
Mm-hmm. I can see that. Well, it's like a clean regular match, isn't it? So I'm going to change my answer to no.
There's neither man.
I guess, well, you can get bloody from things that wouldn't disqualify you. Like, you're allowed to, in a regular match, you're allowed to, like, throw someone face first into the stairs, right? The steel steps.
I believe so. Usually, yeah. It's not a disqualification, generally.
Yeah. I think if either of them bleed, it would be Swerve over Joe. Joe doesn't bleed a lot, you know? I can't remember if I've seen Joe bleed, actually. Is he blood in AEW? I picture him with blood on him, but I think it's always other people's blood.
I don't remember. I don't think I've seen him with blood on him in AEW.
Yeah. Do you not think Swerve is winning?
I think Swerve is winning the belt. Yes, I do. I think Swerve will get brutalized in the match. I think he will be bleeding, profusely bleeding. I think he will end up getting his blood all over the belt.
That's fun.
But in winning it, I think he'll be fine with that.
Do you think he's going to win it clean, or do you think he's going to cheat to win?
That I don't know. That I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Gotta see how they present him the next couple weeks
Yeah.
until I can make that call. Do they present him more as a face, or do they present him more as a heel?
Mm-hmm. Well, as of late, they've been presenting him more as a face, I think.
Yeah. They kind of just presenting him as like, here he is.
Yeah.
Not either a face or a heel. Just here he is. Here he comes.
Take him for what he is, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so where's this going? Does Penta have any chance against Adam Copeland on Wednesday for the TNT title?
No.
Yeah, no.
No.
Unfortunately. Yeah, that's a neat matchup. That's a cool matchup. I think it's going to be a cool match. Has to be the first time they've ever fought.
Oh, I think definitely,
Has to be.
yeah.
So Adam Copeland defending against Penta on Dynamite for the TNT belt. I think it's going to be a very good match.
Mm-hmm.
I think Copeland is definitely winning, though.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to be the main event?
Out of the matches we know, I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the matches we know now, yeah. I think so.
Oh, well, there is a world title eliminator match.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that'll main event. The TNT will main event, I think. I think so. Where's this going? Does Dustin Rhodes have a chance in his eliminator match against Samoa Joe?
What are they fucking doing? What are they doing?
Maybe like
Samoa Joe, no. Samoa Joe made such a big deal about no one's gonna cut in line. If you're gonna fight me, you're gonna earn your spot. And then all of a sudden, Dustin Rhodes is like, I want to fight. And Samoa Joe's like, okay. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for how Joe has presented himself as champion. It doesn't make any sense with the rankings. It doesn't make any sense because we haven't seen Dustin Rhodes, I think, since he got demolished by Swerve. Like when Swerve smashed the cinder block on his chest.
Yeah.
So, I think he was in a tag team with Keith Lee after that. But as in singles matches, I don't think we've seen him since then.
Yeah.
And that actually, the tag matches might have been before that, actually.
Before that.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Yeah, he was at a pay-per-view. That was a pay-per-view where Swerve did that.
It was at World's End.
To Dustin. Yeah, was it?
I believe so.
You might be right.
I am right.
Like, wasn't it his opponent didn't show up or something?
It was supposed to be Keith Lee, and Keith Lee got injured.
Right.
He wasn't medically cleared, and he's still not medically cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because they had tagged before, they put Dustin in, and he just got slaughtered. The only logical explanation for why this match is happening is because of Cody and what's going on with Cody in WWE, which is a stupid reason to book a match in your AEW company.
It seems to be the only reason, and that is a stupid reason. Like,
it's the stupidest reason.
Just to match what's going on? Like, come on, guys.
Especially because, like, those are not the same story. Like, yeah, they have the same dad, and they have the same dream, but their roads to get there, like, this is going to be mean, I apologize. Dustin's story is over as far as a possible heavyweight title run in a major company goes.
That is mean.
He has a place in wrestling still, and he's still a good wrestler. But when you look at the caliber of the top wrestlers in AEW right now, I've never seen a Dustin Rhodes match where I would put him on that level, especially at this point in his career.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be honest. Like, Cody Rhodes right now and Dustin Rhodes right now are not on the same level. And I would argue that their opponents aren't on the same level with each other. So, like, this is like a worse version of that story. So why are you going to go out of your way to tell a worse version of a rival company's best story?
Yeah.
It seems stupid.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. It seems like a desperate move. Like I'm saying, it really does. It's like, well, we have his older brother here. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's copy that.
It's like uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, and listening to Dustin's
like, I just
promo,
want it to be over.
Like, it seems so forced to me, his promo that he did about this. Like, I'm sure he wants to be a world heavyweight champion just as badly as Cody does, but his voice and the passion with which he spoke did not demonstrate that level of drive and desire for that achievement.
Yeah.
Like, the words were there, but there wasn't any like life or fire in them.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like a speech that he didn't write. Like, it seemed like he was reading what someone else wanted him to say.
Yeah.
Which I don't. I mean, it might not have been, because I don't think AEW does that usually.
I think they do sometimes yes and sometimes no.
I thought they gave you like talking points.
I think that's basically what they do.
Yeah. This seemed like he didn't write what he was saying. At least it came across that way.
You mean they wrote it all?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way it came across to me. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm saying sometimes they write everything.
Oh, okay.
This is a time they wrote everything. Yeah. But I think those times are rare.
Yeah.
I think. Like when something needs to be only one way. Mm-hmm. It has to be a certain way. I think they will do it like they will have it written.
Mm-hmm.
All written out beforehand. Yeah. But otherwise they do it more like the 80s where it was hit these spots and whatever. Just go at it.
Yeah.
Do your thing. All right. So no Dustin. All right. So that has been Where's This Going? No Dustin getting a world title shot, says Kay. And says me either. And Derek from Derek's Wrestling Toys and Tees says, exactly, not the same story at all. Derek says Dustin is up in age too, way past his prime. No disrespect to him. He will always be a solid, good wrestler, but he's getting close to unlace his boots. Yes, I believe. I agree.
And I think too, like, he visually seems older than he actually is.
Because there's a drug addict and alcoholic.
Yeah, an alcoholic. And that destroys so much of your body.
Yeah. That
I feel like his years have been hard years, and it definitely comes across in his face. And so I think unfairly people think he's should at this point or very soon retire. Mm-hmm. Whereas we might not think that way if he hadn't done such damage to his body with different substances. So what's up next?
Well, it's time for the top.
Okay, let's go.
Top 5. The AEW Top 5, where each week we slave and strive to bring you the top 5 rankings, much like God delivered the 10 Commandments to Moses on Mount Gilead. I think that's where it was. We hand down the top 5 rankings to you, our viewers, to do with what you may. And use them in good trust. Do you want to do men? Men?
That was quite the introduction.
Men, women, or teams?
Let's do men, because we haven't started with them in a while.
All right, top 5 men rankings. Number 5, he won the main event of Collision over Commander Penta El Zero Miedo. Number 4 this week, back in the rankings after a win over Lance Archer, Bryan Danielson. Number 3, up 1 spot from number 4 last week. He got a win over Powerhouse Hobbs on Dynamite, Will Ospreay. Number 2, he stays at number 2, Swerve Strickland. And number 1, he stays at number 1. He's been there for many weeks, Samoa Joe, the AEW World Champion. So that's number 1, Samoa Joe. Number 2, Swerve Strickland. Number 3, Will Ospreay. Number 4, Bryan Danielson. Number 5, Penta El Zero Miedo. So where do you want to go, women or teams?
Let's go women.
Women. Top 5. Number 5, Trish Adora, who looked good even in a losing effort on Collision against Yuka Sakazaki. Number 4 this week, up 1 spot from number 5 last week, Mariah May. Number 3, back in the rankings, well, in the rankings for her first time ever, Yuka Sakazaki, coming off that win over Trish Adora. Number 2, holding her spot, Thunder Rosa. Number 1, holding her spot for many weeks, the AEW Women's World Champion, Toni Storm. So that's number 1, Toni Storm. Number 2, Thunder Rosa. Number 3, Yuka Sakazaki. Number 4, Mariah May. Number 5, Trish Adora. And so now we go to the teams. Number 5, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, the AEW World Trios Champions. Number 4, the House of Black, back in the top 5 with a win over Christopher Daniels, Matt Sydal, and Brian Keith on Collision. Number 3, a team we talked quite a bit about tonight, Lion Hook, Chris Jericho and Hook, back in the top 5. Number 2, keeping their place in the top 5. They are in the finals of the World Tag Team Title Tournament at Dynasty, FTR. They got a win over Top Flight this week in the semifinals. And number 1, same as last week, they got a win over...
I don't remember who's number 1.
Yeah, they beat someone.
Who? You haven't
in
said...
They
beat Best Friends.
They beat the Best Friends in the semifinals of the Tag Team Tournament, the Young Bucks. And they will be in the finals of the Tag Team Title Tournament at Dynasty against FTR. So that's number 1, the Young Bucks. Number 2, FTR. Number 3, Lion Hook. Number 4, House of Black. Number 5, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. And those are your AEW rankings for April 8th, 2024. So now I'm told, wait.
Just use the arrow keys so the scroller doesn't work.
It's time for the AEW News Roundup, where we bring you all the news fit to print from this week in AEW and some brief commentary on it. Mercedes Moné knew about her AEW debut for a while before Big Business. She addressed this, and when Tony first contacted her during an interview with the Sports Hub's Stick to Wrestling podcast. Quote, "We've been talking for quite some time now, and I just think the alignment just felt so right now in 2024. And yeah, it's just been so many beautiful things in the works. when he called me the first time, I'm like, I'll think about it, TK. We got to build this relationship, you know. Let me keep on watching. Let me keep on seeing this women's division. And I kept on watching the women's division, and my dreams just became so much bigger and brighter, and I knew instantly I wanted AEW to be my home. So pretty cool there.
Mm-hmm.
In an interview with Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour Monday, CM Punk opened up about his time in AEW. The interview was too long to go into extensive detail here, but here are some of the key quotes. Regarding All Out 2022, these guys don't want me here. This isn't a real business. This isn't a business predicated on making money, drawing money, selling tickets, you know? It's not what it was sold to me as, so let me go. Oh, I can't let you go. I'm going to do a new show. Tony's big idea for Collision was a separate show. We're going to separate everybody, and I said, that'll never work. Just let me go. Just get me out of here. This, of course, is CM Punk talking. Punk confirmed that he's not able to talk about what happened after his post-event media scrum at AEW All Out 2022. He would only say, I quote, I didn't have to sign an NDA for anything I did wrong. And then he laughed. Regarding the All-In Jack Perry incident where he choked out Jack Perry.
Oh, I totally was sorry. When I read that quote, I put an emphasis on a different word than you, and it had like a totally different meaning.
Which quote?
I read it. I didn't have to sign an NDA for anything that I did wrong. Meaning he had to sign an NDA, but he wasn't in the wrong. He was signing it because other people did things that were wrong. So we'll have to listen to it and hear how he said it, because that's how I took that.
Yeah, I see.
Especially with a laugh afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
Because he definitely signed an NDA for that.
Yeah. Regarding the All-In Jack Perry incident, Punk said, I went to Tony Khan and was like, please handle that. Like, please. And he was like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, I'm not telling you what to do. Just be the boss, please. Apparently CM Punk is a 14-year-old girl. And he was like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, I'm not telling you what to do. Just be the boss, please. I thought I was doing a responsible thing. I didn't punch anybody. I just choked somebody a little bit. It sounds like the words of a psychopath. Samoa Joe was there, told me to stop, and then I quit. I turned to Tony and said, this place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit. Went to my room. Then Joe and Jerry Lynn came and got me and were like, let's just go and kill it. When asked what working for Khan is like, Punk responded, quote, man, that's a loaded question because I don't want this to be, I don't like the drama, but the truth is the truth. He is not a boss. He's a nice guy. And I think ultimately that is a detriment to the company, but it's not my company. Their business, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset. It's not a real business. It's not about selling tickets. It's not about drawing money. It's not about making money. It's just not. When asked what the company is about, Punk responded, I don't know. I think just having good matches, maybe. And there's nothing wrong with that. He later said of AEW, when it comes to AEW and all that, I genuinely don't regret my time there. I'm just brutally honest about some things. And you ask questions, and you're a real journalist, so I'll gleefully go ahead and answer it. It's done. I hope they're happy. I know I am, and I would like to leave it at that. So, whatever, man. So, and of course, AEW is going to be playing footage on Wednesday of what happened at All In between CM Punk and Jack Perry, right?
Yeah, they're not playing. When Tony Khan said like he was in fear of his life, they're not playing that footage.
Yeah.
They're just playing the footage between CM Punk and Jack Perry.
Yeah, so we're gonna see on TV how CM Punk is attacking his coworker.
That's a ballsy move. Like, you're giving wrestling fans a glimpse at something that we have never had a glimpse of before, at least as far as I know.
What was that?
Like a real, actual backstage fight between the wrestlers.
Yeah.
That's never been televised.
True. Very true. Yep.
Like, you're airing
that's always been said that stays in the back.
Yeah. Like, you're airing your own dirty laundry, basically.
It's always been that stays in the back. But AEW is run very differently than every wrestling company in the past has been run. They're not the old boys network. This is not the old school wrestling anymore. It's different. They've learned all the tricks. They have old guys who know all the tricks employed because they needed jobs. And they're run by guys who were never in the business before. And they don't care about the quote unquote rules of the business. They don't care, frankly. And so they're gonna do what they're gonna do. So they're gonna show this backstage fight that never before would have been, in some places never before would have been talked about, but definitely never would have been shown on television. But we're gonna see it Wednesday. So
this had better show CM Punk in like a terrible light.
I'm sure it will.
Like, because this is really a ballsy move. Like, this could easily not go the way they think it's going to go when people see that footage, unless it's like so obviously like this man is crazy, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure it will. I mean, yeah, you look into that guy's eyes, you can tell that he would just fucking choke somebody out over saying something.
No. When you look in his eyes, you're supposed to see the cult of personality.
No.
Yeah.
You can tell that he would just fucking choke you out for just saying something. And like he says in the interview, just not care about it. Because he's a fucking psychopath. He's got something wrong in his brain.
He did the responsible thing. He didn't punch anyone. He just choked someone
He's got something wrong with him. You know, I mean, seriously, not to joke. He has something. There's something wrong with him that you know he needs to get help with. All right, back to the news. AEW Rampage averaged 350,000 viewers on TNT, up 7% from the previous Friday night airing of the show 2 weeks earlier. It drew a 0.11 rating in the 18 through 49 demo. That's the same rating as the previous Friday night airing of the show. AEW made a round of firings on Monday. Dasha fired. Stu Grayson of the Dark Order. Jose the Assistant.
Formerly of the Dark Order.
Formerly of the Dark Order, yeah. Jorah Joel, which I didn't know who that was. Gravity, the Luchador. Very skilled. That's a shame. They weren't using him anyway. Slim J. Parker Boudreaux. The boys of... what's his name?
Dalton Castle.
Dalton Castle's boys.
They have names.
Yeah, Brent and Brandon Tate. And Anthony Henry of the Workhorsemen, all cut from the roster. Several days after the announcement, though, due to a groundswell of fan support, Anthony Henry was rehired. So, very good. Well done, fans.
Yeah, awesome. Because that was an injustice.
Yeah, he was sitting at home with a broken jaw, wasn't it?
Yeah, he broke his jaw in an indie match.
And he said in a post-Ring of Honor pay-per-view interview, Tony Khan said that he, quote, spent more than I'd planned going into this year and cited budgetary reasons for the AEW and Ring of Honor releases. AEW Collision averaged 458,000 viewers on TNT, up 16.5% from the most recent airing of the show 2 weeks ago. It's the second highest viewership total Collision has done so far in 2024. It drew a 0.11 rating in the 18 through 49 demo. That's down 8.3% from 2 weeks prior. Collision faced strong competition from the men's and women's NCAA tournaments. There's also competition from UFC, NBA, and the opening weekend of Major League Baseball. AEW wrestler Ortiz undergoes successful pec surgery. He tore his pec during a match by doing a clothesline. When asked, he said that the recovery time is 4 months. So it'll be nice to see Ortiz back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Always enjoyed him. Hopefully Tony Khan can find something for him to do.
Mm-hmm.
In an interview with Adrian Hernandez, Eddie Kingston said he is more concerned for released AEW talent than the CM Punk comments. Kingston said he doesn't give a fuck what Punk said about AEW since he doesn't work for the company. Well, that's the way to be.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Schiavone commented on his podcast about CM Punk's AEW comments, quote, "I don't give a shit. That's all I can say." Earlier in the show, when talking about Tony Khan, Schiavone said, quote, "This is to everybody out there who likes to rip on Tony Khan. He is genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever been around in my life. He really is. And you may say, oh, you're sucking up to the boss. If that's what you think, go fuck yourself, because I'm not." God damn, Tony.
I like Tony Schiavone.
Adam Copeland opened AEW Dynamite by talking about loving all of pro wrestling. Copeland brought up, quote, "the negative BS that has been spewed," referring to Punk. Copeland also said that he wanted to open the show to celebrate all of pro wrestling. He said that he watched the likes of WWF, NWA, and Stampede Wrestling growing up because he loved all of pro wrestling. He said he realized AEW is where he needed to end his career because he saw a murderer's row of talent. He then dropped names of wrestlers he would like to face, saying they would all be first-time matches. He said this was the most fun he's had in the 32 years he's been in pro wrestling. Quote, "AEW has pushed this industry into a better place. AEW has pushed everyone into a better place. It's given more people a chance to do what they love for a living, and that should be celebrated. AEW makes pro wrestling better, more fun, and AEW is where the best wrestle." And couldn't say it better.
Mm-hmm.
During the Ring of Honor media scrum, Tony Khan explained the recent cuts as budget-related, announced that after reconsidering, he will be keeping Anthony Henry on at Ring of Honor and AEW. When asked about the boys being released, Khan said that the brothers did not show up for work on multiple occasions, and he had to make, quote, "a tough call." The boys responded to Khan's comments on X, with Brent saying that they are, quote, "far from true." During the same media interview, Khan said it's been, quote, "a lot easier to work with Stardom now that Roshi Ogawa is gone, and he is very happy about the changes Bushiroad made."
Do you think we're going to get Stardom as part of Forbidden Door this year?
Yes, I thought it was confirmed already.
Oh, is it?
I thought it was.
Oh, we haven't announced it on.
Oh, okay, I could be wrong. Maybe it's just been hoped for, but I think we are going to get Stardom. I think we're going to have AEW, New Japan, Stardom,
And CMLL.
and CMLL, and I think it's going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be a show to remember.
It's a great time to be a wrestling fan, you know?
It really is, yeah. It really is. AEW Dynamite averaged 752,000 viewers on TBS, up 0.7% from last week. It's the second lowest audience total the show has done on a Wednesday night since April 2021. No good. Dynamite drew a 0.23 rating in the 18 through 49 demo. That's the same rating the show did last week, which was Dynamite's lowest rating in the demo since October 2021. No good. This match is the second lowest rating Dynamite has drawn on a Wednesday in the show's history. No good. I don't know. I can't believe this. Can't believe it.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
To me. Just because, like, their product is better than it's ever been, in my opinion. You know, I mean, like their shows, especially the past, like, I don't know, 4 weeks, ever since Revolution,
Yeah.
or even leading up to Revolution, like they've just been on a hot streak.
Mm-hmm.
But their ratings are just continuing to struggle, like really struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that Tony's only interested in putting on good matches and doesn't care about ratings, according to CM Punk, because that means he's going to keep doing this whether the ratings are good or not, hopefully.
They got to figure out something. They got to find something. I don't know what the answer is for them. Brandy Rhodes, who is the AEW Chief Brand Officer from its inception to early 2022, says she witnessed her fears about AEW become a reality. She recently told The Athletic that AEW began to drift from what she believed was the original vision. Quote, "What I feared with that company, I was seeing before my eyes. When you start to see things drift from the original vision, and I've seen this happen before, then you start to think this may not be what we thought it was." Cody Rhodes also addressed Brandy's time in AEW during an appearance on the MMA Hour earlier this week. He expressed that how Brandy was treated after leaving the company upset him. Quote, "There are so many people working at AEW who she was the one that said their name. She was the one who wanted to keep them in the fold when something went wrong. How she was treated after the departure, this is not by any company, just in general. It pissed me off to this day."
Both of those quotes were so vague.
Yeah, it was so vague.
It's like they were saying nothing.
Yeah, they said nothing.
Like I'm not saying that they're wrong.
Why'd you even put those on here? There's nothing.
I mean,
Julia Hart will defend the TBS Championship in an open house challenge match on next week's AEW Rampage, and legit Layla Hirsch accepted the challenge. Haven't seen her in a little bit.
She's been on Ring of Honor.
Oh, okay. That's why I haven't seen her. Wednesday's Dynamite card so far includes TNT title match between Adam Copeland and Penta. Tony Storm will deliver a, quote, Charleston Championship champagne toast to Thunder Rosa. The Young Bucks will present the backstage footage from AEW All In and discuss it. So that should be a blast. AEW World Title Eliminator match with Samoa Joe taking on Dustin Rhodes. And we have Chris Jericho, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata versus Shane Taylor Promotions with Shane Taylor, Anthony Ogogo, and Lee Moriarty. We also have Mariah May versus Anna Jay. So it sounds like a very mixed show for Dynamite.
Yeah.
Also, Battle of the Belts 10 will air immediately after this week's Collision at 10 p.m. Rocky Romero will face Roderick Strong for the International Championship. No other matches have been announced as now.
And that may be an eliminator match. It didn't say that in the thing I was reading, but you said on the show they said it.
An eliminator match?
You said that Roderick Strong was giving him an eliminator match for the International Championship. Remember?
Yeah, that's how yeah.
So that may or may not be an eliminator match because different sources say different things.
Yeah, and real quick, the updated lineup for Dynasty: AEW World Champion Samoa Joe defends against Swerve Strickland. AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm defends against Thunder Rosa. TBS Champion Julia Hart defends against Willow Nightingale. AEW Tag Team Title Tournament Finals. The Young Bucks versus FTR. Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay. Six-man tag match with Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black. That's Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King. Sounds like a great fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, this has been AEW Weekly. Hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, a couple segments we didn't do this week. Kay is feeling under the weather, so I wanted to keep the show shorter, but we didn't really. Because we had a lot of news.
Yeah.
Well, we wanted to keep what she had to do shorter.
So the fashion segment will return next week.
Yeah. So she didn't do her fashion segment. And, anyways, so we're gonna next week. We're gonna have some new segments, some new. Some new segments. Yeah, we're gonna have some new segments. We're gonna have some old segments as well. So we're gonna have a mix of things. Some things, we'll always have, of course, like where's this going, and the top 5 we'll always have in the news. But then we're gonna mix in some newer things as well, and we're gonna be doing that from now on. We don't want anything to get stale. I don't want to feel like we're doing the same show every week, and I'm sure you don't want to feel like you're getting the same show every week. So we're gonna try and mix things in and mix things up a bit. Try and mess with the format a little. But folks, we want to thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. And please, if you're watching, if you're watching on YouTube or something like that, click like. That really matters, believe it or not. It matters a lot. Please click like. Please subscribe. You won't miss a show. We're going to start very soon here doing some shows that are not AEW Weekly. We're going to start doing some more content. So if you subscribe, you will not miss the new content. I'm not going to announce quite yet what it is, but we're going to be doing some new content here very soon that you will want to see.
I just want to say thanks to Derek's Wrestling Toys and Teas real quick for joining us in the chat. We always love having people send us some comments while we're going, giving us their opinion on things.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't send us comments, send us comments. We love to hear from people. We'll probably answer back. Don't feel shy. Send us comments. We want to hear your opinions. We would love to.
We hear each other's opinions all the time because we're married and live together.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear other people's perspectives, to know if we're just crazy and are just encouraging each other's already existing ideas. So it's nice to get some other perspectives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So definitely, like I said, get in the comment section. It's right there. It's at your fingertips.
At the beginning of the show, you mentioned we might do a special thing later this week. Do you want to talk about that?
With the footage coming out from All In, we will be doing a special episode later this week. I cannot tell you exactly when. I believe it will be on Thursday evening. But that's all I can say right now. Keep a watch on our X account. That's where we usually post the times for things. X or Twitter, whatever you call it. That's where we usually post the times for things. It's at No Bones Wrestling. That's at No Bones RASSLIN. But like I said, I think Thursday evening, sometime we're going to do a show discussing the footage that we get to see on AEW Dynamite from All In, talking about CM Punk and Jack Perry and kind of what it means for the industry, because that was that meant a lot for the industry, that and all the fallout from it, and Jack Perry going to New Japan and CM Punk going to that other company and all that stuff. Just wow, the fallout was more than anyone would have expected,
But it sucked because that was such a good show, and it was such a moment to celebrate, and all that just drowned it out.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's disappointing.
It's a shame. Well, you can still celebrate it. I mean, it was the biggest wrestling show that people were not led to at gunpoint ever. So, of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a show in North Korea in 1995. It was the biggest wrestling show ever. So look that up.
That was in the 90s?
WCW, yeah. Look that up if you've never heard about it. It was wild. Anyways, we're going to be on a watch along of Collision on Saturday night with our friends over at Last Week in Wrestling. So check us out then. I think we will. We may, I should say. We may be on a watch along. I'm not sure yet if we will be. So I'll say we may be on a watch along of Collision.
Subscribe to our YouTube account, and then you'll know because you'll get a notification.
Yeah. But we may be on a watch along of Collision with our friends at Last Week in Wrestling. And even if we're not, you should check out their content because
Definitely.
it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Last Week in Wrestling podcast from Long Island. They're the
Yeah.
best podcast on Long Island.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
He doesn't sound like that.
the
Dylan
best
doesn't-
podcast on Long Island.
Dylan doesn't sound anything like that. But he's funny and awesome, and you should definitely check out his show.
Yep. And I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, yeah, check us out. Tell your friends, tell your auntie, tell your grandma, tell everybody to check us out. This has been AEW Weekly. Stay tuned on X on the No Bones About Wrestling account throughout the week. I always put wrestling news and my opinions on stuff on there. It's more news than my opinion, but sometimes I'll put my opinion on there. Mostly I just try and keep it just news. But yeah, keep watching No Bones About Wrestling on X. And that's it. Everybody, thanks for watching. And as Mick Foley would say, have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.